Gamers, I hope you have a notepad or calendar to hand, because where we thought the last 6 months have been busy, they are absolutely nothing compared to this month. With E3 still on live support, you might be thinking it's only the video game releases we have to worry about today. But you would be wrong, because our June evenings are still busy with conferences and flashy presentations from a whole host of developers. So, from new releases to conference dates, over to Game Pass and PlayStation Plus drops, here is your June gaming forecast. But before we hop into the game releases, let's get the gaming shows out of the way and make sure we're all sat ready to watch on the day and/or know when to Google what was announced at X Showcase. Kicking off the month of gamers is the Guerrilla Collective Showcase, which last year had over 40 announcements. And along with the showcase, there will also be a host of demos available on Steam and an in-person event in LA. The live event takes place on June 7th at 9 AM Pacific Time and 5 PM BST. Then on June 8th at 12 PM Pacific Time and 8 PM BST, we have Jeffy's Big Night, aka Summer Game Fest, with a whole host of men in t-shirts and blazers telling us about some of the biggest game drops coming in the next year or so. There is bound to be lots of exciting announcements and world premieres during the show. According to Jeff Keighley, there'll be 3 or 4 pretty big things, alongside I'm sure lots of other less exciting things. And maybe, if we're lucky, we'll get another cameo from Animal from the Muppets. Catch our live reactions on YouTube on the night. June 10th brings us the Future Game Show Summer Showcase, the flagship showcase from games outlet Games Radar. The 90-minute show is set to feature even more world premieres, as well as some giveaways for us gamers to try and win. The show starts at 10 AM Pacific Time and 6 PM BST, and you can also catch a live reaction to that show on YouTube. Happening just before that, and potentially being our one overlap of the entire ridiculous week, the Wholesome Direct set to take place at June 10th at 9 AM Pacific Time, 5 PM BST. Featuring over 70 cozy and uplifting indie games that fall under the umbrella of Wholesome, I expect to see a whole load of farming, animals, bright colours and witchy goodness. Microsoft are bringing us a 2-for-1 with the Xbox Game Showcase straight into the highly anticipated Starfield Direct. Including new surprises and first looks from Xbox internal studios, we're hopefully in for a glimpse of what the later part of the year holds for Microsoft console owners. The Starfield Direct will give us an insight into Bethesda's upcoming title, with new gameplay, dev interviews and maybe a release date. Fingers crossed. The show kicks off at 10 AM Pacific Time, 6 PM BST on June 11th, with an extended showcase coming at the same time on June 13th. Also on June 11th, and following on directly after the Xbox and Starfield show, is the PC Gaming Show, the show that aims to respond to the normally underrepresented platform. Despite its usually incredibly awkward format, the PC Gaming Show often does grace we PC players with lots of interesting, exciting announcements, so well worth a watch. Lastly, we have the Ubisoft Forward, taking place at 10 AM Pacific Time and 6 PM BST on June 12th. The show will hopefully include more information about the upcoming Assassin's Creed Mirage, as well as perhaps more information about the swashbuckling pirate adventure Skull and Bones, which has been missing at sea for quite some time now. With other titles like Avatar Frontiers of Pandora and IPs like Star Wars under their belt, there is no telling what we'll be getting a glimpse at during the show. And so with that is all the showcases in the month of June, which I fear may make my following list of games expand. But seeing as it's still a few weeks away, I'll take the games that we already know are hitting consoles and PCs this month. It may have had one of the worst gaming logos of all time, but since the rebrand, things are looking much more positive for Street Fighter VI. The 7th main installment in the Street Fighter series drops on June 2nd on PlayStation, Xbox Series and PC, and is set to start a new era for fighting games. For those fans of classic fighting games, there is a fighting ground mode alongside 2 modes that include a single-player story experience known as the World Tour mode and a battle hub that apparently expands the scope of player communication and engagement. Whatever that means. With 18 characters to choose from at launch, with more to come later, and plenty of new fighting mechanics for new and seasoned players to sink their teeth into, and a pretty stellar review score, this is certain to be another great entry into the franchise. A remake for you now in the form of We Love Katamari Reroll plus Royal Reverie. The 2005 title releases with completely redesigned graphics and a new in-game UI, as well as a new Royal Reverie mode that allows for new challenges and a selfie mode. Roll your Katamari into objects to increase your size, so you may combat all the King of Cosmos has destroyed. The game releases on Nintendo Switch on June 2nd. Now onto the 4th installment of Blizzard's RPG experience, Diablo 4. With an endless number of evil ghoulies to slaughter and replayable procedure-generated dungeons for the loot-obsessed among you, there is plenty to look forward to. As for the story, Diablo 4 takes place 30 years after the third installment in the series, and since the angels and demons now live in a singular realm, there is a new Nephilim race, which your protagonist belongs to. And after people tried to kill them all off, the game's big bad Lilith tried to save them and is banished to the void. Pick from one of 5 distinct classes and customize them to your liking before exploring the open world and saving the realm. The game releases on PlayStation, Xbox and PC on June 6th. Onto a truly gorgeous game now in the form of Don't Nod's Harmony: The Fall of Reverie. This game of choices stars Polly, who upon returning home after her international search for her missing mother, discovers her community is in danger, and she suddenly has a form of clairvoyance that lets her connect to Reverie, the realm of aspirations of humanity. In this world, she can choose which of the aspirations to help take control of Reverie, and subsequently the human realm too. With its bright, colourful art style, fully voiced and animated characters, and multiple endings, this game is an exciting addition to the genre. The game drops on PC and Switch June 8th, and PS5 and Xbox Series on June 22nd. Fans of theme parks and management sims should get hyped for Bandai Namco's brand new theme park manager, Park Beyond. Play through the campaign to learn the basics while meeting the requirements of each park, or go rogue in the sandbox mode to make the park of your dreams. Not only can you create a vibrant and exciting theme park, but you can create some truly mental roller coasters, launching riders through the sky out of cannons, or if you fancy yourself a roller coaster traditionalist, then you can still build yourself a regular old ride should you wish. The game launches on PS5, Xbox Series and PC on June 16th. If you've ever been playing Crash Bandicoot and thought, gee, I would much prefer to be bouncing around a small stage in a team of 4, facing off against another team of 4 while I collect Wumpa Fruit faster than the other team, and then cash them in a bank over and over again until one team wins the round, then boy howdy, do I have the game for you. Crash Team Rumble launches June 20th on Xbox and PlayStation, and lets you pick from a whole host of iconic characters with a couple of different skills. So why not find 3 pals and have a Crash Bash? Ooh, too soon? The Aliens franchise has a somewhat spotty history in video games, with Alien Isolation being a high point and a certain set of Colonial Marines being a low spot. But hopefully, Alien Talony fingers crossed, Focus Entertainment's Aliens Dark Descent will be another addition to the good Xenomorph games list. This XCOM-style single-player tactical squad-based shooter lets you command your squad of Colonial Marines as you try to combat the sticky-looking Xenomorphs in real-time combat. Customize your squad's class, weapons, armor, and perks, but don't get too attached, because if they die forever, and that's on you. Aliens Dark Descent launches on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC on June 20th. The 16th main installment in the Final Fantasy series, Final Fantasy XVI, launches on June 22nd. And honestly, the thing I'm most excited about is hearing all of the characters in the game with various regional UK accents. The action RPG has you taking control of Clive Rosfield and his party of companions as you explore the continents of Valencia on a quest for revenge. The world of Valencia has relied on mother crystals to fuel the magic and the life in the world, but as the ether begins to fade and the Deadlands start to spread, the struggle for the remaining power begins and the in-game factions start to divide even more. Use magic and melee attacks, evoke summons like the other Final Fantasy games, and hang out with ever-iconic chocobos. Final Fantasy XVI launches exclusively on PS5. For those looking for a more relaxed way to enjoy your summer, then may I introduce to you Story of Seasons: A Wonderful Life. This reimagining of the beloved farm/life sim sees you settling down in the town of Forgotten Valley and beginning a farm, a family, and a potentially generation-spanning story should your children choose to follow in their parents' footsteps. Breed animals, create your own crops, and flout with the members of the town to your heart's content. This reimagined classic launches on PlayStation, Xbox, PC, and Switch on the 27th of June. Just about squeezing into the month is adventure game Master Detective Archives' Rain Code. This fantasy mystery adventure game is set in a neon light lit rainy city, and follows Yuma, a trainee detective with amnesia, who's been haunted by a spirit named Shinigami. Really not a lot going for him, to be honest. Solve cases with your forensic forte, like disguise, audio aptitude, and post-cognition, all whilst trying to find the ever-changing mystery labyrinth. From the team behind Danganronpa, this 3D environment and eccentric character-filled noir adventure releases on Nintendo Switch on June 30th. From one crime-saving game to another now, with time-travelling crime-solving Crime O'Clock. You are a time detective who's been tasked with solving crimes through time that should never have happened, and through point-and-click gameplay you'll dart through different line-drawn eras of time, seeing as things change while you crime solve. With the help of your virtual assistant Eve, explore the animal-inhabited Where's Wally-esque universe on PC and Switch on June 30th. Now to quickly power through what's coming to Game Pass, we have a few new games and a few oldies too. Launching June 1st and going straight to Game Pass is Slayers X, Terminal Aftermath, Vengeance of the Slayer. Catchy name, that one. This retro Doom-style shooter with almost a Rick and Morty-like sense of humour is also launching on Steam June 1st. They're not new, but they're also hitting Game Pass on the 1st is Car Mechanic Simulator 2021 and The Big Con. One lets you fix and pimp your ride, and the other lets you go on a crime-filled road trip. On the 6th is the official launch of Amnesia the Bunker, which released into early access last month, and it's going straight on Game Pass. Alongside Hypnospace Outlaw, 2019 sim game set inside a parody of the 90s internet and its culture. On June 8th, you can farm, fight, and romance your way through Rune Factory 4 Special, and/or solve puzzles in an industrial city filled with Russian nesting dolls in stacking. And lastly, on the 13th, play the stunning new Dordogne. Playing as young Mimi, you'll explore memories of your childhood and specifically those spent with your late grandmother. Record sights and sounds into your scrapbook and play through this uniquely beautiful game on Game Pass, PC, Switch, and PS4 and 5. And lastly, onto the games coming to all PlayStation Plus subscribers on June 6th. As Bow Wow says, basketball is my favourite sport. I like the way they dribble up and down the court. And that's good for me, world-renowned fan of basketball, because NBA 2K23 is coming to PlayStation Plus this month. In NBA 2K23, you can play basketball with all the big names in basketball. Just like, Nope, I'm not going to pretend anymore. I'm sorry. Showcase your virtual talent in the My Career mode, or play against all-time legends in the My Team mode. And like with every 2K game, there is also a My NBA mode where you build your own story as a GM or the commissioner. If you'd like to hear the dulcet tones of Jeff Goldblum while allowing your T-Rexes to devour entire crowds of people, then be pleased to know that Jurassic World Evolution 2 is coming to PlayStation Plus. The management sim lets you build your own Jurassic Park and play through 4 game modes, including a story mode that takes place after the events of the last movie. And lastly, for PlayStation Plus, we have the gorgeous Trek to Yomi, an ultra-stylized sword-wielding adventure that follows a young Hiroki on his quest to take down the evil that took those he promised to protect. With solid reviews from critics and players and an honestly beautiful art style, this samurai game should hopefully fill a good few hours for any fans of the genre. So, there we have it, yet another incredibly busy month. And seeing as we've got so many shows on the horizon, it's really a matter of time if the next few months start to fill up too. Make sure you make time to get your vitamin D up, and oh, just in case you forgot, Father's Day is on Sunday the 18th of June, so for those who celebrate, make sure to get a card and a jazzy pair of socks for him. Happy Pride Month, and we'll see you in July.